My name is Sean Thomas, and I'm the author of Be More Today, a 40-day guide to a better version of you. As doctor of physical therapy, I've seen thousands of people do great things. They came to me with ailments, physical ailments, pain, issues, and they got through them, all because they decided in their mind they were going to do it. And I guarantee you, if you just trust the process and be persistent, you too can be the best version of you. Have you ever been out and about with nowhere to stash your keys and ID so you can be hands-free? Whether you're running errands, traveling, or hitting the trail, Spy Belt is the belt that goes where you go. Made with stretchable fabric and a low-profile design, Spy Belt is your perfect companion to keep your essentials secure without bouncing or chafing. Choose from several prints and colors in the original, a wider band in the Pro versions, or the newest Spy Belt, Whiteout, an all-white belt that is perfect for summer. Visit www.spybelt.com to get your Spy Belt today. Run smart, run free, run with Spy Belt. Don't let aches and pains hold you back from living your life. At JAG Physical Therapy, our experienced clinicians create a personalized treatment plan that fit each and every patient's needs uniquely. Whether it's recovering from an injury or enhancing your performance, we've got you covered. With over 150 locations throughout New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, there is sure to be a JAG Physical Therapy location near you. Visit jagpt.com and book an appointment today to get back the life you love. That's jagpt.com, jagpt.com.
Welcome to the Be More Today show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our show today. Now, let's hear it from our host, Dr. Sean Thomas.
What's going on, folks? Your boy again, Dr. Sean Thomas, back in the building with the Be More Today show. We are back in the building. And folks, we are still here in the month of October, celebrating PT Appreciation Month. All my PTs out there, I salute you all for being great, getting people back to their functional movements every single day. We salute you. But before I talk any more about that, Be More Today is here. It is a movement still. We've been going great this year, being more alive in 2025. And again, season 6 of the show has been amazing. Talking about our More merch store, talking about my first book, Be More Today, my second book, Project More, which is still out there on Amazon and on our platform, BeMoreToday.com. So go out there and check it out. We are still doing our step challenge for this year. For those who have joined us for this step challenge, it's been amazing seeing so many people go out there and just take their health seriously during this fall season. So keep going, keep stepping. And if you want to be a part of the movement, check us out on Instagram and Facebook, BeMoreToday.com, BeMoreToday.show, BeMoreToday.pt, and your boy here, I Dr. Sean Thomas. The show has continued to grow, now in 97 countries, over 60 or 76,000 downloads. The number keeps increasing. It's wild. But again, your love and support continues to make the show grow. And I thank you all for being a part of this movement. It never goes unnoticed. Our sponsors are still the same, and they've been great since day one. Spy Belt, the best running belt in the business. If you're looking for a running belt, that is the belt to choose for. So go out there and check out that. Kim and her team are amazing at doing that thing every single time, putting out great merchandise and equipment for us to use, especially during this marathon season. So go out there and check that out for sure. And of course, JAG Physical Therapy for always being there for us. We appreciate you guys so much. And our monthly patrons, we salute you. We salute you. Lastly, as I've been talking about on the show pretty recently, I am doing the Boston Marathon in April of next year, April 27th, to be honest. And that's on a Monday. And I'm doing it with a program called Stride for Stride. And for those who don't know what Stride for Stride is, it's a nonprofit organization that buys race bibs for immigrant and BIPOC and low-income runners. The goal is to make races more accessible and more diverse for all to be able to run. And we've been trying to raise $9,500 for Stride for Stride. Their team is comprised of 430 runners from all across the world, and they give mental health for free for anyone who joins the team. So if you want to be part of a great movement, check out the link in the show notes, Stride for Stride, be a part of us trying to run Boston in next year, and I greatly appreciate it. Our quote for today is simple as always, and I want you to listen to this quote very, very intensely because it applies to each and every last one of us. You can't step into new levels with old limitations, by Daryl Black. You can't step into new levels with old limitations. This has been a year where I've tried to do a lot of things differently, and I saw myself doing things And I realized that I had to change things a little differently. And as PTs, our whole job is to make sure that we're challenging ourselves throughout life, challenging ourselves to make sure we're doing things to challenge our bodies to get better, to get stronger, to be more aligned with where we are in our lives. Um, and the thing about changing is that as your body changes, you got to change things up. Even with PT, you got to change things up because you get so used to doing certain things. You need to challenge your body to see more improvements. And I do a number of things in the community to help others get past their PT. When they're doing physical therapy, they have to go back to living their lives, right? Being more active, being more proactive in terms of what they want to do every single day. And there are others who are also doing that same thing. So I said, who on the show can I bring on who embodies this concept of stepping into new levels and getting rid of old limitations? And the first name that came to my mind is Joseph Saraceno. Now, folks, Joe Saraceno is a seasoned physical therapist with over 25 years of distinguished experience in the field. Throughout his career, he has witnessed countless patients struggle with preventative physical issues, often reaching a point where their health deteriorates to the extent of serious illness or loss of independence in daily activities. He observed that many of these issues could have been avoided through consistent, proactive care and exercise. In response to this widespread concern, Joe founded RetireFIT Longevity Training in 2025 with a mission to address this global challenge. His vision is to empower individuals to take control of their health and future by offering exercise programs that prioritize the development of functional power and long-term vitality. Through education and tailored fitness strategies, Joe is committed to helping people achieve lasting health and wellness, ultimately improving their quality of life and longevity. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage my next guest on the Be More Today show and a good longtime friend of mine, Joseph Saraceno. Joe, what is going on?
Dr. Sean Thomas, it's such a pleasure, man. You are an inspiration through and through. I follow you and everything that you do, and you're definitely part of an inspiration that really motivated me to take these steps. I'm so proud of everything that you're doing. I'm so proud to be here on the show.
Thank you so much, sir. You know, I've known you for a long time now, and it's been amazing to see you still being consistent in helping others. I looked up to you when I joined a company we used to work for together, 101 physical therapy back in the day. And since those days, I literally looked up to you in so many ways. You and Rich and Gio and a number of your colleagues as pillars, as cool PTs, right? Who are out
Yeah.
there helping people to get better. And the amount of passion and compassion that I saw when I met you in 2012, as I've been watching you online do so many things as well, I see that same thing. And I watch your videos and I just see it. It exudes through the video. And, I'm just really happy to connect with you today. I'm super excited you made the time with me. And I appreciate you. And I salute you as we honor PTs like us and others who are making a difference in the world.
Thanks, Sean. It means a lot. Starting off our careers, my choice to be a physical therapist is Physical Therapy Appreciation Month. I remember, being very confused and I just wanted to do something that I could be passionate about, something that, compassion was always a very natural characteristic for me. I loved to help people. And I just remember, thinking about what I wanted to do with my life. And I just felt like if I could do something that I really enjoy doing, that success would be inevitable. And, I never expected to take the steps that we took and to grow the way we did. But I think a lot of that came from, just like you said, just natural, innate passion of a lot of people on that team, the guys that you mentioned, and just the field itself. It just lent to our personalities, our compassion, our strive and motivation to do things that we were all really enjoying. And, I look back on those days with just such great pride and such, real nostalgia about, we never knew where we were going. We were just coming into work every day and just enjoying ourselves and helping people and enjoying making, real connections with our patients. And when you do that, things just happen that you really weren't expecting. And it's taken us a lot of places and allowed me to meet great people like you and the whole team of people who are still working today with JAG Physical Therapy. It's just an amazing career, and I'm so grateful that I joined.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you, Joe, I still work at the Georgetown office for JAG, and there are still people who come in who still ask for you. Hey, is Joe Saraceno still working here? I'm like, no, it's been a long time. He's in
Yeah,
Staten Island. He's doing great. But that just speaks again to your legacy, the compassion you showed others who are now trying to refer their children, their friends, their uncles, their aunts to our office still because you were a pillar there for such a long time. So it shows through all the people who continue to walk through those doors. And I'm a product of that too. I continue to let my staff know at that office about you and others who kind of laid down the blueprint for how we take care of people, how we are compassionate, how this is a situation where no matter what comes in the door, what their pain levels are like, what they're going through, our job is always to help them feel better when they walk out.
yeah,
And I think that's something that sometimes gets lost
no
in the
doubt.
hustle and bustle of today's world. But it's something that, again, you instilled in me, and I still try to instill in others who come through our doors. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I remember Sean back in the day, people would always comment about how great the staff was and the team, and you guys are just unbelievable. And I would say it didn't, the letters at the end of everybody's names were great, but when you stripped away all of those letters who had different certifications, when you stripped it all away, it was just good people who, wanted to help people, were always fair and kind, and, just followed that golden rule of doing unto others and, treating people like their family. And if it was their family, how would they like to be treated? So, that was always the backbone of everything that we were doing. And it's still the backbone today of what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Let's talk about that now, Joe. You have pivoted as a PT. I've seen PTs do a number of different things. I've seen PTs go from working in clinics to working in schools. I've seen PTs go from working in clinics to owning other businesses. And you have pivoted in a different direction with now this company called Retire Fit. Talk to us about Retire Fit and what sparked this new journey for you.
Well, it's interesting. It really all started with had to go back about 15 years ago. I remember being in a room full of patients treating at one-on-one physical therapy at the time and speaking to my friends after a long day's work and telling them, guys, we got to start taking care of ourselves. I got my PT offices are filled with people who have saved their money so that they can retire and enjoy their lives. And now they're here and they can't do a damn thing because they're physically incapable of doing it. And I used to say things to them, guys. It's like a physical 401k. That was my thing to them. It's like your physical 401k. You got to start investing now so that when we're 60, 70, 80, if we're still friends together, we want to do things. I want to be able to do those things with you. We're working hard now. We're taking care of our families, but there's going to come a time where the dust will settle and we're going to be here and we're going to have each other and we're going to want to do things. And I really want to be physically able to do that. And I watch so many of my patients unable to.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes maybe fast forward about 13 years later, a good friend of mine from high school, his name's Tom Collins, he texted a group of us, four of us. And he says, I want to get on a call. I got an idea. And we got on this call and they call me Sarah. That's my nickname, short for Saraceno. He's like, Sarah's been talking about, you know, this physical 401k. He's been pushing this. Another friend of ours, Matt, he's a financial planner and does investment. He's like, I think we can create an app that kind of looks like a physical retirement account, like Sarah always used to say, and we can maybe create something. So I went to work and I started to think about, okay, what would this look like? You know, a physical retirement account. I've been saying this for a while. Let's put the pen to paper and see what we can create. So I sat down, I started thinking, okay, there's got to be an assessment And I created the best life test in order to get your best life score. And then we do forecasting of how you would decline over the years. And that was the app. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But while we were doing the app, I was still working hard, building Jag up with everybody over there, John Gallucci and Rich Bodian and Diane O'Friel, and we were working hard with the whole team down there at headquarters, trying to make Jag, the best PT place in the world, and we were really working hard at it. But this was always in the back of my mind. This was something I always really wanted to do, and I remember saying to myself, if I don't do this now, when I turn 65, my 65-year-old self will never forgive me for not giving it a shot.
Mm.
So I went to everybody at headquarters. I went to John and Rich and Diane. I was like, listen, guys, this is something I want to do. I think I'm going to step away from the day-to-day operations here, and I'm going to give it a shot. And, true friends like they are, they gave me their blessing. And that's how the gym and the longevity training center started. And I do that on my own. It started from those ideas that I developed 15 years ago, and then the app, and then the gym, and it's kind of all come full circle now. So that's where I'm at now.
Amazing. And I've had a chance to go on the app a little bit and check out the site. It does look like a 401k kind of a thing. And I love the concept of it because it makes it very, very intuitive, and it makes it very, very clear that you're investing in your health.
Yeah.
You're investing in your wellness, in your well-being, even from the RetireFIT account, right? And it's very, very inspiring. So talk to us about the app a little bit. If people want to get involved or be a part of RetireFIT, how does a typical session for that work if someone wants to be involved in it?
Yeah, so first, just to touch on the app, the app is really can be done by anybody. You don't have to be a member of the gym. We use it here at the gym, but anybody can use the app. It's on the app stores and the Google Play. And it's like you said, it feels like a retirement account. And basically what we do is, if you think about a financial retirement account, if you were sitting down with a financial planner, he or she, the first thing they would ask you is, okay, we want to talk about a retirement account. What do you want your future to look like? What lifestyle? How do you want it to be? Are you going on vacations? Are you, do you have a summer home? What's it going to cost? I need to know how much money you're going to need for your future.
Right.
Because I need to know how much we have to have saved up. And then the next question would be, all right, how much have you saved up? What's in your retirement account now? You've been working for 30, 40 years. What have you saved up? Mm-hmm. And then you figure out, okay, I got this much saved. I'm going to spend this much each year going forward. And you can kind of figure out when you're going to run out of money.
Right.
And that I've gone through that exercise with my financial planner, and it kind of really resonated with me. This sounds just like I'm talking about with my friends. With the physical retirement account, I ask my clients who come to the gym, but you do this on the app as well. You're asked what kind of lifestyle you want to live in the future. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have. Mm-hmm. You need to have the proper amount of strength and mobility to live that lifestyle, So once you figure out which lifestyle you want to live, are you super active? Are you kind of moderately active? Or do you just want to be able to get through the day independently? You have to have a certain amount of strength and mobility to do that. So then I always ask, okay, how much strength and mobility have you saved up to this point in your life? Because we're going to need to make that last for the next 10, 20, 30 years. And that's what the best life score is. The best life test kind of tells us how much strength and mobility you saved up to this point. And then we can forecast when you're going to run out of strength and mobility, or if you are. And the contributions you make into your retirement account are exercise. Mm. The more you exercise, the slower your best life score goes down. The less you exercise, the sharper your best life score goes down. And it kind of gives a clear picture to people who think, I'm going to be okay, I'm going to be fine. And then they do the test and they realize they can't do certain simple movements.
Right.
And then they check their forecast and they're like, man, I'm not doing well. Like at the age of 70, I'm running out of gas here. What do I do? And what do? Well, you don't sit and complain about it. You do something about it. And that's when, we start to take the steps here at the gym, and we give people, on the app, you give people some advice on what they can do. But here in the gym, It's a more purposeful, concentrated approach to addressing their needs and making sure that they're going to be, functionally independent and have the longevity and the functional power that they're going to need for as long as they want it.
Got it. So, in terms of the best life score, I know you talked on the site that there are 10 movements you use
Yeah.
to be the building blocks for physical function. What are some of those movements that you ask people to do to determine their best life score?
Well, I use this term. I don't know if I made it up or not, but it's something that resonates with me. It's called functional power. So I use that term to describe functional power is the thing you need to do whatever you want to do. So if you need function, everybody does different things. A professional athlete needs a tremendous amount of functional power to do what he or she wants to do. But we all need some amount of functional power to live our lives, whether that's, getting up and down off the floor, running across the street if a car is coming, putting your suitcase in the overhead compartment in your airplane. These all require some amount of functional power. And I've always said that the two things, and this is what I recognize through years of treating patients, the two things that give us functional power is strength and mobility. If you have strength and mobility, you have functional power. And different people lose functional power for different reasons. Some people just lose their strength. Some people just lose too much mobility, and some people just lose both. And at the end, they've drained themselves of what I call this functional power and their function. So when I created the test, I tried to make it evenly distributed between strength movements and mobility movements. So with the strength, it's just simple things like push-ups, squats, sit-ups, pull-ups, balancing on one leg. In the mobility, I really assess four areas of mobility. I've always called these the epicenters of movement in the body. I feel are in this order: hips, thoracic spine, shoulders, and ankles. If you have mobility in those four areas, it really, puts you good in a functional measurement, and it also is helpful to preventing injury and other issues. So we do things like, rotation in the shoulder, internal, external rotation, touching your toes, multi-segmental, just rotating your entire body. And then we do like a walking speed where we're going to be doing more timed up and goes. And that's pretty much the test. So you're testing a little bit of half strength, half mobility, all function, and you come up with this score. And I got to tell you, when I first did it, I put that pen to paper, I started figuring it out. I've done this test now to probably well over 200 people. And it's amazing how much it does correlate to function. Like people walk in the door and I see them moving and I can watch, as a PT, you watch people when they first walk in your door and you're kind of figuring out their issues. You can pinpoint it. I can definitely predict within 10 points what their best life score is going to be.
Mm.
And the score does correlate to function. The higher your score, the more functional you are. The lower your score, the less functional you are. So we use that score to do their retirement plan. And in the gym, we use the score to recommend them in a specific class. So we have 3 different classes in the gym: orange, yellow, green, which is basically beginner, intermediate, advanced. And it all depends on how you score on the test. 30 to 45 would be orange, 45 to 60 would be yellow, and then 60 and up is the greens.
Amazing. So you're saying someone who just goes on the app can just do the app on their own, right?
Yeah.
But if they want more guidance in terms of what to do to fix that score, improve that score, they should come to your facility.
Yeah, listen, people in Nebraska are using the app, so they're not coming to Staten Island to go to my longevity training center. But so we give them recommended exercises on the app to improve certain issues that they might have, certain parts of the test that they struggled with. Like if you struggled with push-up, the app will give you recommendations to improve push-up. If you struggled with one leg balance, the app will give you some exercises to improve one leg balance. And we're working on a second version of the app, which will have more exercise programs, and then the forecasting will just go on in the background.
Amazing.
But yeah, if people live locally, they go on the app and they know they need help. The training center is there. It's kind of their best investment in their future because I've written all the programs, and I really focus on everything that you need. Mobility, stability, balance, strength, power, and then cardio, but plyometrics. We do plyometrics at the end of every class, but that's very much the way our classes break down. Mobility, stability, balance is the first 20 minutes. The next 30 minutes, we're doing just strength circuits, functional strength for upper and lower body. We always do some type of functional carries, whether it's farmers or suitcase carries or racks or lunge walks, something like that. And then we finish off with plyometrics. Just for our, our clients who have bone density issues, osteoporosis, things like that. I always like to do plyometrics in order to improve bone density and maintain it. And also for balance, those fast twitch muscle fibers is what atrophies the quickest as we age. I'm trying to, ignite those fast twitch muscle fibers so people can maintain power and balance through their older years.
I love it. And Joe, I love it for a number. I'm visually seeing myself be a student in your class and what I would be doing as well. And as I talked about earlier, I do a in just 2 days. It's nowhere compared to what you're doing, which is on a wider and more elaborate scale. But I open up my clinic 2 days a week before we even open up for a community workout for people. I don't say patients because there are people, because some were
Right.
patients, some are patients, and some just come because they know it's a free class. But we do some of the things that you're talking about. And the big thing that people always say is, am I going to survive? I'm old, right? I'm old,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing in the class?
Yep.
And it sounds like what you're saying is that the building blocks that we do when we're kids and as we get older, keeping those same building blocks helps us to maintain and keep that functional score high. Is that what you're
Yeah.
telling me right now?
Yeah. There's no doubt. And it's amazing, you know, age is a tricky thing, Sean. We have this false belief. This is really something that I'm really passionate about. Like, people think that they lose muscle, they lose strength, they lose mobility because they got old, because they
Mm-hmm.
aged. And I call BS on that. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't lose strength and mobility because the calendar turned another year. You lost strength and mobility because during that year you didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you stopped challenging your body stopped responding, and it became weaker, it became stiffer, it became less functional.
Right.
So don't blame your driver's license on your decline. You declined because you allowed yourself to decline. I'm just trying to give people the knowledge and let them understand that you have way more control over this than you realize. Just keep doing. I used to say this all the time to my patients. I would evaluate patients, and no matter what they had, what they were coming in for, I would always make them do a couple of functional things.
Mm-hmm.
See how their one leg balance was, see if they could touch their toes, their deep squat. And most of the time, listen, they were in physical therapy, they're not doing well, they're not in good shape, they would not do well.
Right.
And they would be so annoyed and frustrated, like, man. I was like, okay, wait a second. I was like, how old are you? And let's see, I'm 65. I was like, okay, you're 65 and you're struggling with some of these movements. You're not moving great. Your balance isn't great. Your movement is not great. But let me ask you a question. If you were 85
Mm-hmm.
and you moved like you're moving today, would you be as disgusted? And I'm like, no, if I was 85, I guess I wouldn't feel that bad. I'm 85, I'm still getting around. I was like, okay. So if I had a contract
Mm-hmm.
that said, I guarantee in 20 years you'll be moving exactly the way that you're moving right now, would you sign the contract? And
Mm-hmm.
they say, yeah, of course I would. I was like, okay, there's some
Mm-hmm.
fine print here. I can get that for you,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have to contribute. You're gonna have to contribute in some way. You're gonna have to start to work. You're gonna have to start to exercise. And I used to tell them, listen, there's value in not getting worse.
Yeah.
If you're over the age of 60 and you take a 10-year block and you don't lose strength and mobility, you won. That's a
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing I'm trying to make people get to understand. And it's really resonating with them. They're really starting to feel empowered. I got people who come in who've never been to the gym in their lives, and I got
Mm.
them doing deadlifts all of a sudden with kettlebells. It's
Yeah.
it's really it's really great to see.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because the big catchphrase that we hear, even in the clinic every single day, is "Don't get old." Oh,
Yeah,
this is the worst. Whatever you can do,
yeah,
Sean, just trying to get
yeah. They
old.
talk
I'm
to
like,
each other.
yeah,
Don't
I'm
get
like,
old.
I
I'm like,
mean,
well,
it's gonna happen. It's
right.
inevitable. That can't be it. It can't be the getting old that's the problem. Like you said, when we stop doing what we did to keep us,
Yeah,
maintain us, as kids, as teenagers, as young adults, when we stop doing those things, then yes, our body does get old because we're not doing what we did when we were young. And I
yep,
think that's the hard reality. Like you said, this person who signed the contract, right? That's the hard reality of saying, well, what am I willing to put in that work to
yeah,
maintain or to even get back to what I used to be? And I think for some people, they're like, yeah, but some people are like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready or willing to do that. And I think sometimes, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there is a fear to that because
oh yeah,
they're assuming that they won't be able to do, like you're saying, the deadlifts and the push-ups.
yep,
And, well, I can't do a push-up, I can't do a burpee. But once you start showing them, I'm sure you've seen this in your place as well, the
yeah,
modifications of how to do certain things and giving them confidence to go out there and do stuff. I have people in our, our morning class who are in their 80s who are using battle ropes. And I
yeah,
love taking videos of them because they're
yeah,
so excited to
yeah,
hold this rope and see, oh, you know what? I can do. I'm like, yes, you can do this. Now that you can do this, do it more
yep.
and keep doing it. Keep
No
doing it.
doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like I said, with our classes, you know, at any level, we can find something for you to do.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I would love to change this phenomenon, but it is a reality right now. The average age of my orange classes
Mm,
is about 82. That's the average age. My oldest member who takes the orange classes is 87,
mm,
and it kind of goes down to maybe 78 to 87. Those are my orange classes. Um, and these are people who are doing okay and just want to hold on for as long as they can. They know that they're just, close to not being able to do what they're doing now, and they know that it's not going to stay that way unless they do something about it.
right.
Um, and then the yellow class, maybe my average age is like 68 in those classes. And then I would say the average age of my green classes is maybe 50, 54, 55 around there. That's an average. I would love to be around here in 20 years, Sean, and have those 50-year-olds who were in my green class be 75, 70 years old, still taking the green classes
Yeah.
because they never stopped. They
Yeah.
kept doing it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would love to see this country,
Yeah.
change and become more cognizant of how much control they have over their health, their longevity, their function, and take more control over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe, you have a team, so it sounds like on your end that helps you to get some of this stuff done. Who makes up your team at RetireFIT?
So I have a few trainers who've been working with me since day one. Very fortunate. It kind of reminds me, Sean, of those early days back in the with one-on-one where we kind of assembled this team just out of nowhere, and it just kind of magically meshed, and they all have, once again, that same thing. You strip away their letters, they're just good people, compassionate, caring people. And a couple of my people here are young personal trainers, but very, very dedicated to their field. Shane and Vin, and then Stephanie. I don't know if you remember Stephanie Zambrano. Stephanie, she used to work with us at One on One. She was a PTA, and now she's been out of the field for a while. She went and had a family. And she was always a Pilates instructor and a yoga instructor, and she's kind of joined the team too. She works with a lot of our older clients, our yellow and orange team classes. She's doing one right now as we're talking,
Awesome.
and she loves that. Once again, like you said, the passion and the compassion is the same as it was back in those days doing physical therapy. So I missed that, and I'm so happy to be back into it and back a part of that.
That's awesome. We used to call it, do you have the one-on-one on your foot? We called it like a blueprint for people who were coming in and were going to be a part
Yeah,
of the fabric. Like if they had
yeah,
that zen, that feel. So
yeah,
it's good to hear that you surrounding yourself with people who are like minded and are also compassion oriented. And
yeah. It is.
so
It's cool. And
yeah.
you talked about fear before, Sean. I didn't want to leave that out. The fear is real.
Mm,
We used to see it. I used to see it when I was treating patients. I'm sure
yeah.
you see it now. Even when you ask your patients to do exercise in physical therapy, they're looking at you like, what are you? I can't, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
Um, and that fear prevents them from doing anything.
Yeah.
And that's the slippery slope. So, as physical therapists, you guys, I mean, listen, I used to love to do that to let people understand, you can do this and look at how much better you feel just being here at physical therapy for 1 month. Look at how much better you're moving and how much better you feel. But the thing that drove me crazy was we would discharge that patient.
Mm-hmm.
We just enlightened you to
Mm-hmm.
show you how much corrective exercise and movement helps you.
Yeah.
Go, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Discharged. They leave. They come back a year later. Same problem. Did you join the gym? Did you do exercises? No. And part of their reason was they were intimidated to go to the box gyms. They're intimidated. They're not going to CrossFit. They're
Right.
not going to these box gyms. They're not trying to lift weight. They don't know what they're doing. They don't
Right.
know if what they're doing is going to hurt themselves again. They had this bad back. They don't want to re-injure it.
Yeah.
And that I understood that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give those people a safe resource
Yeah.
to say, okay, I need to keep doing this, but I need to go someplace where I feel safe.
Yeah.
And as a physical therapist, I could never recommend anybody. I
Right.
didn't know trainers well enough. I wasn't comfortable, but I hope that we can be, that next step for physical therapy patients who are discharged feeling good, but got to stay that way.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we really like to do.
Yep. I was just gonna ask you what makes you different from any of the other gyms, but that's the answer. I mean, that is really it. And it's funny. The only reason I do the class in the morning is because I have such a high group of people who feel exactly that same way.
Yeah,
They're done with therapy, whether they're done because their business expired or their insurance is up or they can't afford to go to therapy anymore, whatever. They're done with therapy, but they don't want to go to a Crunch or a Planet Fitness or Harbor Fitness. They don't want to go there, right?
right.
And they've already been here at this clinic, at my clinic for 3 months, 4 months, if they're post-op, 5 months maybe, knowing our staff, knowing our environment, knowing the machines, knowing everything around that area. So they feel very comfortable there and also comfortable that I'm there because I walk with them through this process from walking in with a crutch or a walker to not being able to do whatever function that they can. So the safety component to that is also like, well, you know what? Let me stay here and do whatever we can. So our classes have 20, we had 23 people on Wednesday who
Ah,
again
that's
are
great.
coming at 6 o'clock in the morning before
That's
we open
so
up.
great.
They're outside before I get there because they want to just move. And
Yep.
I'm saying to myself, okay, let me now tell them about RetireFIT.
Right.
Let me now make sure that they have access to the app so they can maintain whatever they're doing. And for those who live um in closer to you, they can of course visit you. But I think the
Yep.
app by itself is amazing because that will give them the inspiration to continue. And I think every PT clinic should be doing this as well because it's not just Georgetown. This is happening across the country where you
Yeah.
say people are leaving, they're discharged, and they're coming back with either other issues or the same exact issue. So I think you're onto something that really can be streamlined for all PTs to be able to tap into. This is the pipeline to say, look, PT's done. We've gotten you back to functional movement. If you don't have some kind of a community or group to go back to, check this out. Be a part of
Yeah.
this. This is where it's
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think the connection with physical therapy, I think, is probably stronger than any other healthcare professionals. Um, because we always kind of pride ourselves in helping the entire patient. I can remember, I used to love having students. That was like my favorite thing. I loved having students. And I can remember, I would have a student and I'd bring them in for an evaluation and I would start to do the evaluation. It's a shoulder patient, let's say, and I'm checking their hip. And if the therapist is looking at me like, this guy's crazy. He doesn't know. He didn't even read the prescription. It's his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
What's he doing? And I always wanted to treat the entire body because I knew that limitations anywhere decreased movement on a whole
Yeah.
and compromised movement in that specific joint where they're having their problem. So I think because most PTs think that way,
Mm-hmm.
they also think big picture as far as physical well-being, and they understand the benefits of movement. Move well, move often. That's,
Yeah.
we were taught that from, pioneers like, Greg Cook and Mike
Yeah.
Boyle and all these guys that we all got educated from, and Shirley Sahrmann.
Yeah.
These were the pioneers of these functional movements. Keep moving. And that's why I think that that connection from physical therapy to longevity training, class-based training, functional training is such a great marriage. And kind of keeps me in with my roots as a physical therapist, and that's probably why I'm enjoying it as much as I am.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm inspired because this is something that I may see myself doing in some capacity at some point in time in life. I really like the concept of, well, what's next? And you combining your PT skills and combining a team of other movement professionals to come in and to inspire others to keep moving. I mean, like you said, it'd be great to see even people who are in their 40s and 50s, as part of your class, getting ahead of the ball early so
Yeah.
that they can be ready for the retirement that is coming for each and every last one of us. So you're putting out a great product out there, Joe, and I'm just really proud to say that I'm impressed, inspired, and elated that you're doing this great stuff out there. We really appreciate it.
Well, like I said, Sean, you are a bit of an inspiration, and don't think that 20 people don't show up at 6 o'clock in the morning for two classes for your classes. That's got a lot to do with who you are and the passion that you have and the compassion that you have for them, and that's why they feel comfortable, and that's what motivates them. So, listen, I've said this to you before. I've always been a big fan. I've always loved what you do and the passion that you have, and just keep it up and keep inspiring me and keep inspiring other PTs because, you know, you gotta keep doing that. It's something that's a part of you. It's a fabric of who you are, and I'm just proud to be a part of that as well.
I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate that. Listen, how can people connect with you, connect with Retire Fit? How can they learn more information about how to be a part of the Retire Fit family?
So the RetireFIT app, like I said, is on the app stores and the Google Play stores. They can check that out anytime they want. RetireFIT Training Center is retirefitltc.com. They can go on our website anytime, contact us, call us if they have any questions. If they're interested in joining our gym, they get the test is free. They come in, I assess them personally, give them their best life score, give them their physical retirement account, and that starts the ball rolling. I place them in an appropriate class. They get a class for free. They can try it out before they make any decisions. And then from there, they go month by month. I do not do long-term contracts either, Sean. I am here. I want them to keep coming because they love it and because they appreciate the value. So I'm not locking anybody in. I want them to keep coming for the right reasons. And it is the other thing that's great is we are building a nice, real community here at the gym. People, meeting new people, becoming friends, especially those older clients. As well as I do that physical interaction is such an important part of age and longevity and staying sharp mentally is just to have those interactions. So that's another thing that's been really cool. But yeah, we would love as many people as possible. Join our community. The place is beautiful. We've done a great job, but either through the app or through the training center, join the family. It's really cool. And like I said, anybody wants to reach out to me, they can always do it through our website and contact me. obviously, as you see, I love talking about this stuff. It's very much a passion. So I get on the phone with you and talk to you about it if you want.
Incredible. Joe, any final words that you want to share as we do highlight you and other PTs around the world during this month? Anything you want to share about the PT, the profession, or for those who are continuing to go out there and help others to continue to move like you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, PT, it's physical therapy was is it is still very, very special to me. My daughter is now a physical therapist. She works at the JAG office down here in Staten Island. I love coming. She comes home talking shop. I love it. It's great. Um, it's still very, very dear to my heart. JAG Physical Therapy, obviously, all the people there. They're still doing great things. They're still trying every day to keep doing great things for people in need. And listen, it's still a great field. It's competitive, but it's rewarding. And even your tough days in PT, busy days, there's always something that really is rewarding, and you can take that home and know that you did well by somebody every single day.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Joe, I appreciate you being on the show today. You made it fun for the books. And listen, I'm excited to come out there one day to Staten Island. I've been to Staten Island probably like 6 times in my life. I've driven through Staten Island many times,
Everybody
but
drives through to get to other places.
gotta drive through. But I've been to Gio's house. I've
Yeah.
been to a couple of different places. When we have our Jack Fest, all those different things, but they're numbered. Staten Island, the half marathon, I've run that a couple times. My
All
feet
right.
actually on Staten Island, I could probably name them or number them on my fingers,
All
but I
right.
will
So
increase
here's what
that
we
number.
do.
I'll
You
increase that
come
number.
in, you come in, check the place out. Give you a best life test, let you see
Yes,
what your BLS is. You get your
yes.
BLS, and then I'll take you to a great Staten Island pizza place. We'll go to Danino's. We'll have some pizza and treat you to the great Staten Island experience.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I appreciate you, sir. And thank you so much for making the time. You are a gem, and I salute you.
Thank you, Sean. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you.
No problem. Folks, he said so many poignant things. I mean, Joe's a rock star. I'm so excited to see what he's doing out there with Retire Fit. And again, we'll put the information for the app and for his gym in the show notes. But don't forget the quote from today. Very, very poignant. Like he was talking about. You can't step into new levels with old limitations. Joe's out there reminding us that we have to keep moving and keep doing things that we did when we were younger. Those things don't stop. If you want to get to new levels, we need new things to be happening in our lives. Cut down the old stuff. Let's get down to business. Let's keep moving. In the honor of PT Appreciation Month, we salute Joe and other PTs who are out there just encouraging others to keep moving. Thank you guys so much for listening. And again, we'll see you next time on the Be More Today show. Until next time, peace.